Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to another video. So in my previous video I talked about the spontaneous personality. I touched a little bit upon the organized personality. Now we'll do more of the flip. If we have, for example, a parent who's more spontaneous, a child who's more organized, how do we deal with that? And that's not just for children, by the way, that also is for adults. So these personalities that I'm talking about does not just apply to children, it applies to any individual. So you might think, if you're watching this, you might think as an individual, as a parent, as a child, as a young person, that's exactly me. These are some tips for you as well to help yourself or to help family members and so on. So if we have an organized child, this organized child, the characteristics they have, they will always be on time. At school, they'll never be late, or if they are ever late, they will feel really guilty for being late. As adults as well, we always want to be on time. Sometimes if we're a little bit late, we'll feel guilty and, we'll feel that kind of pressure that we are actually late on someone else. So for such an individual, such a child, for example, if they the organized personality type, what we'd need to do is that because they always want to be on time, we'd need to respect that, and we'd always need to be on time for them as well. So if we give them a promise that we're going to go, for example, take them out at a specific time, say for instance we say, okay, you know what, tonight we're going to go out at 7 o'clock to your cousin's house or something, 7 o'clock precisely we need to be out. If we say 7 o'clock we're going to go out and then we make it 7:30, we make it 8 o'clock, they get really confused. I'm like, okay, you said 7 o'clock, what exactly were we supposed to go out? So being on time with them is very important. Also, sticking to plans. So if, for example, a group of friends, they decide to go out together, one of the individuals in that group is the organized type. If they have a specific plan, so for example, we're going to go this place at this time and this place at that time, and then they decide to make a little bit of changes, it messes up with their brain, because with them they work through plans. So it's very important that we stick to plans with them, whatever we agree on, whatever. I mean, of course, sometimes we have to change plans if something, like major happens, but we try as much as we can to stick to the plans. We try to not be late for them, stick to our timings and stick to the promises of the timing that we give them. Now, the strength, of course, about that is that they will always be on time. They will always be, for example, when it comes to submitting their assignments, submitting their work. As students, they will be favored by their teachers because they always do things on time. They also, ensure that they respect the rules. So they're very firm in that sense. When it comes to rules, they respect the rules, they follow the rules, and they will ensure that others follow the rules. In the previous video where I said the mother who's organized, she will ensure that things are done in time. They have great management skills. So that's the strength that they have, is that they always follow rules and they make sure that others do follow them as well. So what we need to do for them as well is to make sure that we do provide that respect to the rules, and we also clarify what are rules, what are not rules. For instance, if we have a child in school, primary school maybe, the teacher says that, okay, nobody's allowed to write on the board, and then another student or another child decides to write on the board. That organized individual will be a bit confused. The teacher told us not to write on the board, but this student wrote on the board. So what will they do is that they will go to the teacher, they'll say, you told us not to write on the board, but that student actually wrote on the board. So they may be seen as snitching on other people, but what they are trying to do is that they're trying to find out, was this a rule or was it not a rule because someone else just broke it, and their mind just works with rules. So when they do that, they don't, even as siblings, they might go to the parents and say, oh, my brother did this, my sister did that. They don't mean to snitch, they just trying to understand, is this actually a rule that we need to follow, or is it not that I don't need to follow? So that's quite important to identify. We can strengthen that personality, and we can utilize that personality in the sense that, for example, they like to take care of the brothers and sisters, for example, help them with their homework. We can give them that responsibility. It's your responsibility to help your siblings with the homework. Or, for example, it's your responsibility to check what's missing from the house on a daily basis so we can do the shopping. So giving them that sort of responsibility to allow them to use their management skills helps us to utilize those skills in the right place and also to nurture that skill. Okay, so we can give them some sort of responsibility around the house and make them manage that, because management skills is something very strong about their personality. They also need to make decisions quickly, as I briefly mentioned in my previous video. So the spontaneous, they take the time to make decisions. It's about making a good decision, Whereas the Organised is more about making quick decisions, because they like to get things done straight away. If they're given homework, they start it straight away. If they're given assignment, they'll complete it before the submission by a week or two. So the strength about that is that they're very productive. They get things done. Right? Now, the challenge could be that, for example, if they have a piece of assignment that they need to submit in 2 days, for example, but the 2 days in advance, they can't go to sleep. They haven't finished it. They feel that pressure. I need to get it done in time. A spontaneous mom, for example, or a spontaneous father might tell them, why are you awake so late? Go to sleep. You're going to be late for school tomorrow. They will not be able to go to sleep until they complete that piece of work. So what we need to do, we can accommodate for this by making the place comfortable for them, making them a nice warm drink, for example, hot chocolate, or giving them some fruit to make it comfortable for them so that they can be productive. Because if we push them to leave the assignment, go to sleep, they will not be able to sleep. Right, until they get that piece of work out of the way. So productivity is very important for them. It's a strength that they have, and then we need to, of course, accommodate for their needs in that sense.